Welcome back to Not Your Average Cinema. Today we are going to be reviewing the movie Sinners, which was on both of our top 10 most anticipated movies of 2025. So it was one we were very much excited about. And yeah, this has been one that I think has been pretty popular. I think it's been talked about quite a bit, actually, uh, for probably, I would say, leading up to it. I don't know that that many people were talking about it. But now that it's actually been in theaters, I think a lot of people have gone to see it that maybe didn't know about it at all or
Yeah.
weren't really necessarily initially interested in it.
Yeah, I think we
So
put it on the map pretty much. I don't think anyone was talking about it till we put it
yeah,
in
pretty
the
much.
theater. No.
I think there are a
Yeah.
couple other people maybe talking
Yeah.
about it too, but yeah, I so yeah, it's a original kind of movie. So I think that's one of the good things with this. I think it's making it known that people will go see that. Hopefully it ends up doing well enough. It sounds like it's getting a lot of people actually coming, maybe not initially in that first weekend, but now with kind of word of
Yeah.
mouth. But yeah, so we both saw this one, Pepper. It's been a while since we've done one of these reviews,
Yeah.
and yeah, we typically give our scores right away, a little bit different from maybe some other peeps in the
Yeah.
biz. And yeah, I'll just start off with I think I'll give this one a 7 out of 10. Did we do out of 10, Pepper? Or it's been
Yeah.
so long. Did
Out
we
of
do it
10.
at
Out
fives?
of 10.
So yeah, I ended up still liking this one a decent amount, but I think there was a lot of hype in my head built up that I was really going to enjoy this one, and then there were just some things that I personally didn't love, but I think it was still a solid film. I don't know. There were things that I maybe would have liked changed up a bit.
Yeah.
And I
I
think one of the main ones is we got that action there as one of the categories, and I felt that was a little lacking for my
mm,
taste.
yeah. I kind of agree with you here. And I knew this was gonna be maybe a hit or miss when we put it on our anticipate. I don't know if you thought that as well, but it's like this is kind of a mysterious pick. It could be
Mm,
great. Could maybe not be what I'm looking for, and I don't think it's quite what I'm looking for, so I'm pretty disappointed by it. And that makes me want to maybe put it down into the sixes, which is still all right, but I have some issues with it. But it was still well made, so I think just the respect for the movie, like you said, an original movie, kind of original. It's pretty similar to maybe an older movie, but I think I can bump it up to a seven probably as well out of 10.
yeah. But yeah, we may mention some spoilers. We
Yeah.
try not to do too many, but if you really don't want to be spoiled at all and you still haven't seen this, I'd recommend definitely going and checking it out while it's in theaters, or I guess if you're watching this and it's released or whatever, definitely go check it out on whatever streaming, whatever it's going to be on. I have no idea. But yeah, if you don't want any chance of spoilers, leave now and do that. But otherwise, we will get into our pros, mids, cons.
Yes. So go starting with the good.
Oh yeah, the good, the bad, the ugly.
The good, the
Why
bad,
we should have called it that this time ever, because it's kind of a Western feeling,
yeah,
a
yeah,
little
we should
bit.
have.
It's got
We
a
should
little
have.
bit of that feel to it.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, But yeah, this movie, if you did see any of the trailers, you maybe knew this was going to be have some music play into it as being kind of one of the bigger points of the movie. And part of me was wondering, I was like, my favorite film from like the last 5 years is Wonka, and I don't know that it was like sold as, oh, this is a musical. And
Mm.
that's what it ended up being. And I was like, I wonder if this one's going to end up actually being like a full-on musical. Like they didn't necessarily say that, but I was like, it maybe could be. It did not end up being like a musical, like I thought. But I thought that most of the music that was used in here was pretty good. There was some that started really good, I thought, and then kind of drifted a little strange. But
Yeah.
overall, I liked the choices of kind of using some blues feel, and then also kind of more of a what would you call it, Pepper?
Um,
Bluegrass? No, like
mm, oh, what would I call it? I don't know. You're more into that kind of thing. You like shanties and things like that
yeah, it's
kind
kind
of
of like that
style.
style
Yeah, yeah.
as
Which
well.
is
So.
it's cool. It really helps with the movie and
I
kind of
think it was a
everything.
good mix
Yeah.
between the two of them. I think they worked well as uh, maybe a little bit of a spoiler, but kind of opposing sides in a way, sort of. But yeah, I actually wish there was even more of it used in this film.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it would be interesting if they did go like a full musical. I think that might have helped the movie. If we got a little more of it. Yeah, I agree. The music and kind of with that, the whole style of it and the setting, I think they just tied it all together really well with that because characters are really about the music, and obviously this is back in what like the 30s there, and it feels like it. Obviously, this is I'm guessing a bigger budget movie, so they did a really good job with. I mean, I never questioned it. They do bring some other elements into it that aren't so dated, and it still worked for me. But yeah, I just think everything, the look of the film, the aesthetic was pretty top notch.
Yeah, I guess like awards wise, because I think I've heard people talk about awards. Do you think like it could get like a costume thing? I don't know what it actually. I don't personally watch a lot of those kind of award things, so I don't know like what it takes to win like costume design and all that kind of. Because I think that would be along the lines of that, wouldn't it?
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I could see it maybe winning something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I
But
could see that. I mean, I don't know what's accurate and what's not accurate, so
that's true.
I wouldn't know. But I mean, they probably don't know. I think they just said, okay, you actually have to watch the movies to vote at the Oscars now. They made a deal about that, so they aren't even watching the movies. So I think maybe we can judge it. Yeah, it's pretty good. I think it could win some of those. And then the last thing here would be the last good thing about this movie. The acting, I think, was pretty good, and there's been more and more. I'm getting less and less impressed of a pl actor playing multiple roles because I'm just seeing it again and again, and it's just seamless every time. And I'm like, maybe it's not that hard. It seems like it's a huge deal to do, but like I'm just like I just never. It never feels wrong in these movies, whether it's The Flash or it's this or what was it? What happened to Monday? There's one person playing seven characters. And I'm like, maybe it's not that impressive, but it's still impressive. And I think everyone else as well was well acted. I don't think there was a weak point among them.
Yeah, I would agree. I don't think there were any characters that I thought were like, oh boy, not them again, not them. Don't put them on the screen. I thought everyone kind of lived up to the what the movie was bringing. They were all up to that level, and yeah, I thought they all did a pretty great job. I don't think. Trying to think if there was like a standout performance. I don't know if there was necessarily that for me,
Mm,
but yeah, I don't think there was a negative one
yeah.
either.
Maybe the villain might be like the most maybe unique performance, kind of
Yeah,
having a charming side, but also scary uh, type of feel.
yeah, that's true. It was. I think that was one of the pieces I really liked about it is like, yeah, the bad guy, like, yeah, somehow got across the feeling of maybe he's not that bad of a
Yeah, it's
guy.
like that because that's kind of part of it. Like they try to maybe trick you. You think they're trying to trick you type of thing. And it's like maybe they are. They start to trick you, and maybe we're wrong about them. But uh,
Yeah, and then yeah, it also feels like kind of the Thanos type of thing where maybe there isn't actually anything sinister there because he kind of offers the people something and like maybe in his mind that is a good thing.
yeah,
But so maybe he isn't really being sinister, but I
yeah,
don't know.
yeah, that's true. That is true. So that's probably an extra positive point here that should be here. So then on to the mixed aspect. So I guess bad and ugly. I don't know what one of those would be. The mixed, if it's supposed to be in
The
between,
ugly.
is ugly mixed. I don't know. But in the mixed, so the music was good, but the music concept, there's something in this movie, and you said it was in the trailers too. I did not, I tried to stay away from the trailers, and people said, oh, it shows too much, it tells you too much, so I tried to hide from them as
I think
possible.
it I think it did.
Okay,
A
so
little bit
kind
too
of.
much in some cases.
So like kind of talking about, I guess, spoiler alert here. Something about the music I'll talk about. It being kind of like some people being so um, powerful with
Pure,
the music,
powerful with music.
and so true that it can kind of summon others that are that way, and spirits from the past, the future, to kind of come in on this moment of truth and powerful music and stuff like that. And that's a pretty cool idea, and they do show you that in one sequence that's pretty neat, I think, and
Hmm.
unique for sure. If you're kind of going with like an award for like a unique sequence of the year, I think that could be nominated for that.
You know,
Um, but you mentioned you, I think, feel this way as well. I don't know if they did much else with it.
yeah, they showed that cool concept, and yeah, with the trailer kind of saying it too, and me in my head, this wasn't on the trailer. They didn't say it was a musical or anything, but me kind of thinking that, and then the way they did use it, I'm like, they could have just used this on a whole nother level. I think, especially because you did kind of the good and the bad kind of had slightly different styles of music, and I'm like, oh, if you could have kind of utilized that in a way to kind of build the opposing sides in that way and utilize it. I think
Mm,
you could have done something even cooler.
yeah.
So, yeah, I think that was just a slight miss because it was really a great concept and it was really cool in the one time that they used it, but I think they could have used it even more.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, I agree. And on to the characters here. Um, like you said, I don't know if there was that big of a standout. I feel like I'm fond of most of the characters, but I
yeah,
don't know if any of them like kind of went to that next level where I'm like, oh, they're just really giving them a lot of awesome material here. It's just kind of like they're okay, and some had some really good moments, and I felt like some maybe didn't get as much as I wanted them to. Um, but overall, I think that was maybe a slight disappointment. Possibly, especially with kind of the main two, or seemingly going into it, the main two characters of the two Michael B. Jordans. I was hoping maybe for just a little more conflict, differences between them in the movie than we got, but um, it was still good.
yeah, I would agree. And I don't know if part of that had to do with kind of the actual big conflict in the movie not coming until like an hour plus into the movie. So it maybe made it harder to have like a conflict between them because yeah, I don't know if it's a little bit of spoilery or not, but this takes place in one day. So
Oh,
one
yeah.
day, one night. So it does have a tight schedule. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know if it would have been better with more, but it also makes sense being what it is. So I
Mhm.
don't know what I would have done differently to do that to maybe give the characters a little bit more time to
Mhm.
interact in certain ways and stuff. But yeah, I would agree. But at the same time, I think they utilized all the characters in good enough ways. I didn't feel like they had like just a bunch of meat shields kind of characters of meaningless could don't need them in the film kind of thing. I don't think they had too many of those.
Yeah. Yeah. And then on to the bad. We have the action and the deaths. And like you said, the conflict doesn't really, at least the big flashy type of conflict that us shallow consumers of cinema like. We like the action, the violence, all that stuff. And it's a very slow burn of a movie. It's good stuff. It's with the characters, and you do get to know them, but it's like a long time until you kind of see the villains for the first time and what's going on. And it makes sense with the villains and their deal, I guess, that they're not going to be present for kind of the first half of this day if you kind of know what's going on going into this.
Yeah.
But I feel like just a little more teasing along the way could have built some more tension instead of just being with the characters. Like show
Yeah.
some more of the bad guys early on, I think.
Yeah, I agree. And I think part of that might just come down to that condensing it into a day. That's where I think it might be. The problem might lie in that a little bit for that part. But yeah, it is a very slow burn of a movie. And yeah, even once we start getting that, we start getting, some warring going on between the two sides. We had some deaths, but
Yeah,
they were a bit underwhelming
yeah,
because it didn't really seem to matter. It didn't really build up like
yeah,
a great battle necessarily. I don't know that that
yeah,
was there. Didn't feel like the moment was there for any single one of the deaths.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, I agree. It's just like, okay. I mean, it's realistic, I guess. I
Yeah,
mean,
I
whatever.
think that is the thing about it. It's a time a movie is actually probably being realistic in the situation
Yeah,
with what's
yeah,
happening. And it's like, well, yeah, obviously, if this was really happening, yeah, that's exactly how it would go down,
yeah,
and that makes sense. But I don't know. In these kind of movies, you're kind of thinking like that heroic exit and
yeah.
stuff, and makes you think of what's the zombie movie where isn't there a guy in the vehicle and he's got the grenade?
Oh,
He kills himself along with
oh, where he
or
blows up
sacrifice himself.
the RV, Dawn of the Dead, that one, kind of
I
at the
don't
end,
remember. I
blows
might
up a
be. I don't
propane
remember.
tank or something,
Yeah, I don't remember. But like something like that, some
yeah,
dramatic, like
like a one-liner, and
took
then
him
do
out.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
movies like
think,
that didn't have any of those kind of things.
yeah. So I think that's the thing. It's like since we did spend like all this time with the characters, if we didn't know them, if they were just paper thin characters, it's like okay, that's fine, and. But since we did make it all about the characters and the big build up, and it's like take a little more of a moment because there's sometimes where I'd be like, wait, do I know that person? Is that one person that's dying right there? Because it wasn't totally clear the way it was shot, the way it was edited. I'm like, I think that's that person, and I'm not good with names, so if someone shouts their name, I'm like, I don't know who they're asking for, but yeah, I think it was just a little not enough clarity kind of going on when you did get to the fighting and some people would die and I'd be like, okay, I didn't actually know that character. So there were extra characters here that I didn't even know existed. Uh,
Yeah,
but yeah, that I think that's kind of the issue there. And then one of the action sequences, which kind of saw in the trailer and kind of hyped us up in the trailer, one of the shots is kind of dealing with an adjacent storyline. The movie kind of,
it's a secondary finish to the
yeah, it
movie.
does have a secondary finish, and it's like just kind of set up barely. I mean, yeah, it could be a masterpiece, but I'm not watching for a masterpiece. I'm not really digging into this and seeing all the themes throughout to set up this as the logical ending. So it felt like kind of a weird ending and then kind of another ending as well.
Yeah, yeah. I would say this movie felt like it was three or four endings. Just felt a little strange once you got to the end, just in totality, and yeah, that was a little disappointing because that was another thing that made me think, oh, this is going to be a big time action film, and yeah, then it just like, well, what felt like the crescendo of your movie already seemed to like have happened,
Yeah,
and now we're doing this. It just takes everything away from it, in
yeah,
my opinion, because we already felt like we had an ending, and
yeah,
then that just felt tacked on.
yeah, yeah,
But yeah, I think that was more about kind of messaging and stuff, and I'm like.
yeah.
I don't know. I get it, but
It's not new, man.
if you know what this movie's about, it's like I don't know if you need to add too much of that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah,
Maybe,
yeah, yeah.
but
But overall, it's worth seeing. It's something to talk
yeah,
about for sure.
yeah, because I there's been a lot of movies this year that I've watched in theaters that I'm like, yeah, I don't think I ever have to watch that again.
Yeah.
It's probably most of them actually that I've seen this year, and this, even though disappointed a little bit for me, I definitely am going to watch this one again. And it's not just because Michaela hasn't seen it, and then after I went,
Oh,
and then
yeah.
it started getting a little more hyped up. She's like, I think she's been a little more interested in it then.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. She just going
So
with the crowd.
she's
So,
going with the crowd.
yeah. Yeah, I think
But
this one
yeah,
could
I
be
would watch
could
it
be
again.
helped on a second watch, so, for sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, that is our review of Sinners. Let us know in the comments below that we're wrong, that you love this film, or if you agree with us on any of the points, or maybe we missed something. Maybe we missed something that it's like, oh, well, this is supposed to be this. And yeah, maybe that's the case. I think, yeah, just going into this, I think out of the what were the four things that it said? I think I was just hoping that it was action for
Oh,
genres.
yeah. 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 Action, drama, horror, thriller.
I think I was hoping for a little bit of action horror myself.
Yeah.
And
I
yeah,
think it was a lot of drama. A lot of drama was the main
yes,
part of it. So,
yes.
which could
So,
be a great thing if that's what you want. So, if you're into that the most, I think it's got a lot of it's quality. It's got a lot of talent behind it. Just wasn't totally aimed for us.
yeah. But yeah, if you like the video, give us a thumbs up, subscribe for future reviews, and as always, don't forget to keep on nibbling on that movie theater popcorn.